Okay, we're on section 5.1. We're doing question 5, and we've got to use the midpoint to estimate the area under this curve. So we've got the overall intervals 0 to 1. We broke it up into 4 subintervals, and the midpoint between 0 and 1/4 is 1/8. The midpoint between 1/4 and 1/2 is 3/8. I think you see a pattern coming here. The next midpoint will be 5/8. 5/8. And the final midpoint will be 7/8. Now, the width of each interval, delta x equals 1/4. And by the way, let's draw these rectangles. So we're going to, our midpoint's going to intersect the graph here, here, here. Oh, excuse me. Yes, there and there. And now we'll draw a horizontal across there, and we'll draw a horizontal across here. There's another rectangle formed by the midpoint. Here's another rectangle formed with a height relative to the midpoint. And finally, we have one more rectangle. So we have 4 rectangles. The width of each rectangle is 1/4. So m sub 4, the area under the curve, approximating using the midpoint with 4 subintervals, is going to equal 1/4 the width of each times the height of each. And the height is whatever the midpoint value is squared. So if we squared 1/8, we get 1/64. Plus, if we square 3/8, we get 9/64. Plus, if we square 5/8, we get 25/64. And finally, squaring 7/8, we get 49/64. Now, when we add those up and multiply, we get 84/1/4 times 84/64, and that reduces to 21/64, which equals 0.328. Let me make that a little clearer. 328.125, and that's a 0 point. So there's the approximate area of that under that curve on that interval. Okay, now we're doing question 11, and we just have to estimate the distance traveled. And we're given the intervals of 10 seconds. So delta t equals 10 seconds. And we're given the speed at each 10-second interval, and we're going to look at the right end point. So we're going to skip the first entry, which is 0, and go to the next entry, which is 10 and 44 feet per second. Now, the next thing we're going to do, so this is our delta t, we're just going to add all those speeds up. And so we'll have 10 seconds. And when you add those up, you get 384, and that's going to be feet per second. Excuse me. And now the seconds divide out, and 10 times 384 is going to be 3,000 840 feet. Excuse me. And we are done.